Health insurance is a subject matter of hospitalization and other factors. Life insurance is all about life indemnity, the living conditions. So after the life, you will get the money. How do you first of all estimate the value of insurance cover for a particular person? When you write about aviation insurance, you need to understand that this is again a very niche sector. Not every company covers the aviation insurance. Good morning and welcome to the Principles and Practice of General Insurance Model Question Paper Solving, and this is for the 5th semester BCom. This is the first time this paper has been introduced to the students by Mysuru University. It is a very important paper and one of the most important sectors of the economy. This is coming up in a great way, especially for in our country. And this particular topic is highly important for the commerce students. Now, moving further, the blueprint for this particular session is going to be in this manner. 15 marks question, 2 questions. 10 marks question, you are going to have 3 questions. 5-mark questions, you're going to have 4 questions. So totally, the paper is for 80 marks and this is going to be a 3 hours paper. Moving further, the probable questions that can come for your examination, starting with the 15 marks, explain the types of general insurance. Moment they ask you this question, general insurance, there are several types of questions that can be recorded, that can be looked into this factor. Why? Because general insurance is a subject matter of solicitation. So always I would say that the concept of general insurance itself is very important for all of us to understand. Now, there are many types of general insurance that might come into picture. One of its kind that we need to understand here is the health insurance, the fire insurance, the marine insurance, the aviation and hull insurance, cargo insurance, house, property, theft insurance. So there are varieties of general insurance that comes into picture. So all these types can be explained here in the general insurance category altogether. Followed by explain the fundamental principles of insurance. There are 8 principles, like the principle of subrogation, the principle of indemnity, the principle of utmost good faith, the principle of confidential knowledge, the principle of understanding in the terms of the conditions and regulations. All these principles have to be highlighted when it comes to the principles of general insurance. Now, the insurance policy here, please try to understand, this is more from a generic basis. They do not want you to go complete in depth, but they want you to know these subheadings, that is the principles, and explain it with an example. So there is not much of, the hurry that is needed, not much of panic that is needed in terms of writing these questions. You can take your time, you can make yourself comfortable in terms of the non-life insurance, and you can explain it in your own words. So this is something which is given to the students in order to write, in order to explain in your own words. So whenever you write these types of insurance, you can give the examples from the day-to-day walk of life. So you can talk about the fire insurance, you can talk about health insurance, you can talk about cargo, you can talk about your the mobile insurance, which is also available as a part of miscellaneous insurance today. You can talk about aviation, cargo. All these kind of insurances are a part of general insurance and they have their own methodologies and values altogether. Followed by the health insurance. Now, India is a country which is not new to health insurance. And all of us, with the current scenario that the country is undergoing, in fact, the globe is undergoing, everybody knows the value of health insurance. Health insurance is different from life insurance. This is where I want to distinguish it and let you know. Health insurance is a subject matter of hospitalization and other factors. Life insurance is all about life indemnity, the living conditions. So after the life, you will get the money. It is all about securing a life. But health insurance is more about hospitalization and the health cover that is being provided to you in case of any emergencies and exigencies happening to you. Now, health insurance is actually covered by the general insurance factor. Why? Because there are different types of riders, benefits, and kind of clauses that are being given to you based on the type of insurance that you are going to apply for. There are many insurance players in this sector. You might see about a HDFC Ergo, an ICICI Lombard, an Apollo Munich that comes into picture, or you might also look into today insurances which are coming in from the LIC itself, other than the non-life, the miscellaneous sector altogether. Then you might be probably looking into the Canara Robeco. They also have the Baroda First. There are so many kinds of insurance players, Max Life, all these kind of people. There are so many people who are involved in terms of health insurance, and they provide a lot of coverage based on the type of premium, based on the type of cover that you are taking. Health insurance is more projected towards your hospitalizations, curing of a disease, or if you get into any kind of physical injury, health insurance is a very big backup. These days, you might have seen the advertisement of policybazaar.com that has been relied on the TVs and in channels where they give about how a policy cover can be taken, how much insurance cover is being provided, what is the premium that you have to pay, whether you can make it on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis. All those factors can be bought in as a part of your health insurance. So this is a very, very easy question. You can write your own examples. You can bring in your own description, and this is going to be a fantastic ride for you. Followed by explain the marine and cargo insurance. Now that is also a very, very simple question altogether. Now, marine and cargo is something which is not new to India, but it is not that popular in India. The reason is that probably very, very few people or companies who are involved in the sectors of marine and cargo will talk about it, will know about it. But in general, when we talk, we only know about the insurance related to motor insurance. Why? Because most of us have a two-wheeler or four-wheeler. But then coming back, when we talk about this marine and cargo, this is a very big sector where the General Insurance Corporation comes into picture, and they provide an insurance or a backup to all those big ships, transport and cargoes, so that they are able to have an emergency backup in case of any exigency or any kind of untoward situation. Now, the marine insurance is something which can be taken up for the ship, for the goods, for the people. There are different factors that are involved. One in the middle of the sea, one in case if the entire goods is lost, or if the ship is sunk, or some fire accident happens, or it has been hijacked. There are so many factors under which the marine insurance will come. How do you need to protect the cargo? All these factors will be nominated under this marine and cargo insurance, which will make this entire sector a very, very powerful sector for us to understand. Now, marine insurance is a huge process which involves a lot of cost. Why? Because the transportation through sea is a costlier method, and the cost of the ship, the cost of the goods, and the handling charges are quite high. So marine insurance and cargo insurance is not done by every single company in India. It is done only by few companies who understand the business and who are ready to take the risk into it. Now you have companies like Royal Sundaram, which is into the marine insurance altogether, the General Insurance Corporation, which is one of the big insurers in terms of the marine and cargo insurance. So you can bring in your examples again. You can explain how marine and cargo insurance comes into picture. Followed by the 10 markers. What we are looking in for this examination is process of underwriting and settlement of claims. The most interesting part of an insurance is that how do you first of all estimate the value of insurance cover for a particular person? Now, when you go and say to an insurance company that I want to take an annual insurance cover worth of 1 lakh rupees, then the insurance company will decide on your premium, on your age and other factors, how much insurance cover can be provided to you. Now, who does that valuation? Who understands that how much coverage can be given to you? It is the role of the underwriter. So the underwriters or the underwriting process will make them understand, based on your health, your habits and your living conditions, how much insurance coverage can be provided to you, what are all the different factors under which you can be covered. Now, why this underwriting is a very, very important process? Because every insurance company has to understand the risk they undertake in terms of providing an insurance cover. So anytime when any person comes in asking in for an insurance, it is automatically a risk that is being transferred to them. So tomorrow, in case of settlement of that claim, in case of settlement of that insurance, the company needs to be 100% sure in terms of understanding how this particular claim can be settled. So the insurance company cannot promise anything and everything under the sky and say that yes, your settlement claim will be done. Based on the situation, based on the condition, and based on the premium and other factors under which the person is enrolled for the insurance, the underwriters will decide, and then the settlement of the claim will happen. So that is why I say that insurance and settlement of claim is one of the very, very big process. It has got a lot of steps in terms of understanding the risk that is involved, in terms of understanding whether that particular subject can be covered. So all these factors are a process of your underwriting and process of claims settlement altogether. Followed by fire insurance. One of the largest part of general insurance is fire insurance, and definitely motor insurance also. But then let's look into fire insurance. Not a new subject for all of us. Why? Because we know what is the impact of fire that can happen on a shop, on a house, or on any of the physical asset. So fire insurance is something which is very, very important, that has to be taken up by the shopkeepers, by the companies, by the institutions, by any person who wants to protect their physical asset altogether. Now, a fire breakout can be through electrical wire shortcut, or through a burst of a gas cylinder, or through sudden outbreak of some inflammable articles. But then the insurance people have their own set and methods of evaluating the fire insurance. Now, for example, if the fire breakout is happening due to a natural calamity kind of situation, the insurance company will first send in their expert team. They will evaluate the situation. They will see that under what conditions it has happened, what is the level and extent of damage, how it has happened, how this fire insurance has to be measured, and based on that, a report will be sent back to the insurance company. Once the report is evaluated, understood by the company, automatically the fire insurance will be claimed. So this is quite a step. There are a lot of moral and physical hazards that are involved in fire insurance. So one needs to be 100% sure about what has happened, how it has happened, and how we need to take it forward in terms of understanding it. Followed by explain the aviation insurance. This is quite an interesting topic which I would like to tell. Why? Because aviation as a subject matter itself is quite interesting. We've always been fascinated about the aeroplanes and the flying machines altogether. But then this sector is vulnerable to high threats. Why? Because even the smallest incident can cause immediate death to the passengers as well as to the pilot, and a huge loss to the aviation company. Of late, due to the pandemic effect and to the different factors, the aviation insurance cost has been going up to a very, very great extent. So aviation is a sector which tries to cover in terms of the commercial airlines, whatever the challenges are there, both in the sky as well as in the ground level. What are all the challenges? How the aviation sector needs to be covered, that particular industry would look into in terms of protecting their commercial planes, their ground duty risk and clearances, and about the parking, the cargo. All those factors are covered under your aviation insurance. When you write about aviation insurance, you need to understand that this is again a very niche sector. Not every company covers the aviation insurance. Why? Because it's a very expensive sector and very few players understand the sector clearly in terms of the modalities, in terms of the nuances as how we need to cover, what are all the challenges, what are all the intricacies. So aviation is a very limited sector, but nevertheless, we will always call aviation insurance as a sunrise sector in India, because with the rising amount of air travel that's happening in India, aviation sector is picking up to a very great extent. Followed by the 5 markers question, we are going to talk about premium loading. Now, when I say write a note on premium loading, what does the word premium means? It means the monthly installment or the service fees that you have to pay towards your insurance. So that is nothing but when you pay your insurance amount, we call it as your premium. So the premium loading is something where you are adding up an extra premium, extra value, so that you can get more coverage altogether. So premium loading is adding upon to the existing premium so that you can get a better coverage or a better value or an extra cover in terms of your insurance. Now the premium loading is again decided by the insurance company in discussion with the person who is insured, trying to find out what are his necessities, what are his needs, why he needs a premium loading, in what conditions we can go for it, and will the premium loading really help him to get an extra or an additional cover. So premium loading is not something which is being given just as an open option. Rather, it is based on a necessity and objectivity. So the insurance company will take in the time and effort to understand the situation and then provide the insurance cover. Followed by miscellaneous types of insurance. Today, insurance has become a subject matter of necessity rather than formality. So whether you buy a mobile phone, you buy a TV, you buy a fridge, or you buy even a cot, there is a kind of insurance that gets attached. What is this kind of insurance? It's basically a backup, a surety that in case if something happens, I can go back to the company and claim it. So when you buy a vehicle, when you buy a car, when you buy a two-wheeler, when you buy a cycle, you buy a mobile phone, you buy any gadgets on this earth, automatically insurance is linked. But most of these insurance names and formalities or the factors of claiming is not known to us. Why? Because we don't pay so much of attention to it. So miscellaneous insurance are all those types of insurance which are not covered on the daily walk of life. They are not like a fire insurance or a health insurance or a motor insurance, but these are kind of insurances which are known at different parts and different places altogether based on the type of usage, the type of product that we are dealing with. Followed by third-party insurance. In a motor insurance, the most important thing is a third-party insurance. Why this is being taken into picture is that in case of accident which is done by somebody else on your vehicle, there is always a third-party insurance claim. So in case by an accident, now you didn't go and drive your vehicle and hit it on a tree, but if somebody came and hit your vehicle, the damage is for your vehicle, so you want to claim a third-party insurance, we have this facility where the person can go and claim the insurance based on the incident, based on the accident levels. The company will judge the value and you can go in and claim for a third-party insurance. followed by moral and physical hazards. Now, what are the moral and physical hazards that are involved in insurance? Why? Because there are different kinds of moral hazards that comes into an insurance. The way of looking into it, the way of judging people through the emotional factors, or the way just getting carried away by the insurance factor, or you just try to overtend the issue, you just tend to overblow the issue altogether. So there are a lot of moral hazards which are involved in insurance, and similarly the physical hazards. So when we talk about a fire insurance, when we talk about marine aviation, or when we talk about transports and logistics, cargo, there are all kinds of physical hazards because their subjectivity to physical conditions to a great extent. So all those kind of hazards will be questioned to you in terms of how the insurance coverage takes this into picture. With this, I come to the end of this particular session. I hope and believe that all the questions discussed here would be of a great help and of a use to you. I wish the students all the very best for the upcoming examination on principles and practice of general insurance. Thank you once again for joining me today on this wonderful session. Have a great day.